up? How you doing? Fancy seeing you here. Yeah.
Okay, folks, it's 6:30. Hey, folks. It's 6:30. We're going to start our work session. This is the work session for the City of Tenino for Tuesday, May 12th. And we have several items on the agenda tonight. Out of respect for the Sheriff Sanders and Lieutenant MacGyver, we have kind of two things that are related to the police. So we'll bring up, are you ready to, if there's any questions? The first one is going to be, we have a temporary contract, basically providing services as they are right now. That is, I think, for 6 months. I'm hoping we can get a permanent one shorter than that time. I'll just say one question that came up that wasn't in here. Somebody brought this up to me yesterday. They asked what we would do if it gets extended out and we get into the school year, about a school resource officer. I said we'd just get together. If we don't have a permanent contract and it's getting close to that, we can work something out but that was just his question. So anyway, has everybody had a chance to look at that? It's pretty short. Are there any, Sheriff, would you like to just come up and talk about how things are going, or? I don't know, does the light on? Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I guess I'll start by answering the question that was posed. In conversations that we've had, we think it's best at this point to separate the two entities. The school year, we're going to get together, I think, all the stakeholders over the summer and just knock out that SRO contract. It's not super complex. We already have kind of the blueprint for that. The more complex piece, and the reason I needed to get a short-term contract, is when we start talking about the rest of the police services. That's where, in like 1 week's time, I was trying to solve the city's future policing needs, and I just kind of tapped out a little bit. I said, I'm going to need more time to be thoughtful about this, and it is my opinion that we should do another round of at least one more town hall once we can propose something more concrete and continue to get feedback from the residents of Tenino. So our plan ultimately is to get this short-term contract into place. We're already providing services to the city. This is just backdated to, I believe, April 6th is when we started. It is the exact same prorated cost that Rainier is paying. The two cities are so similar in call volume and size that we just wanted to keep it even-keeled. That way no one's complaining they got the better deal or anything like that. So for now, we're actually in a pretty good spot. The two remaining Tenino police officers are servicing the schools, which is great. And then we are servicing everything outside the schools. We are trying to limit the number of documents and reports and things like that they ultimately generate, because that's just one more thing that Tenino has to archive. So we've tried to absorb all of the paperwork, if you will, so that it's our body cam footage, our reports, all those types of things. We've also fixed some issues, because I know you guys are kind of in the middle of contracting with the prosecuting attorney and the courts. There's a lot of things happening at once, so we've fixed some issues on that end as well, to make sure that cases are being routed appropriately when deputies are taking enforcement action here in the city. That way the courts know, hey, this happened in Tenino, and they can keep track of all that data for you. And then the last thing I would say is, as a general update, things seem to be going okay. Haven't heard any complaints from anyone. I know Lieutenant MacGyver is here as he will continue to provide updates and things like that. But every night that I've looked in, we've got multiple deputies working down here in this area. And I think more conversation needs to be had in the future, obviously, about what that long-term contract is going to look like. I suspect, just based on how the contract is lined up, it's a 6-month contract with an option for a 3-month extension. My own premonition is that January 1 is our target date to go live with whatever the future of policing looks like in Tenino. That's my goal, to have a long-term contract January 1 ready to go into effect. And that also allows us internally to have some opportunities for deputies to slide into positions. Every year they bid for spots and things like that. So for instance, if there's a Tenino slot for a deputy through the shift bid, January 1 is the cleanest time to do that. So that's kind of where I'm aligning my thoughts right now, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Would you please, Sheriff
Yeah.
And Mayor, explain more more detail how the school resource officer coverage in the Tenino School District is going to be covered at the time that we're closing out. Apparently, the Tenino Police Department and the sheriff is not yet ready to take over. How is that coverage going to be maintained through the end of the school year?
Well, we're going to keep our police officers through the June, I was going to bring this up later, but I've talked to Sheriff Sanders about, we're going to terminate our police services June 15th, which will put us at the end of the school year. So we'll continue just our city contract, make it cleaner. Trying to stop right in the middle of that, I think, would just be a nightmare. So we're going to, June 15th, it will be the end of our policing services with the school district contract. And then next year, we'll pick it up with the sheriff's office. And I've talked to him about the June, I think you agreed that June 15th seemed to be a okay date, and it's a difficult decision, but I think that's a...
I have a little concern about disbanding the police, about okaying a contract, even though it's temporary now, and working to the ordinance to disband the police department at the same time. I have a real problem with that, and I understand that the attorney said it was fine and that you said it was fine, but I just don't think it's very good protection for our officers, the two that are left, so.
Yeah, so the update for that is that one of the officers is about, I would guess, probably at the halfway point in their background and still progressing. The other one, you have to remember, so the civil service rules, the other officer is looking to basically exercise their privilege under the RCW, which in short sense is basically they can just appear on our application list without having to interview. That's really the perk, the benefit of it. Well, they can't do that until you guys disband the department. That's part of the civil service rules. So in order for them to exercise that privilege, the Tenino Police Department, they have to be given notice that they're being laid off. So it's a chicken and egg issue in terms of their transition over to the sheriff's office. And I've made it very clear, lateral officers who can pass background checks and are qualified applicants, we love them. So we're always happy to absorb. We have 10 vacancies right now, so more than enough spots for the Tenino Police Department to be absorbed in. And so, yeah, that's kind of the chicken egg issue. And in my recommendations to the mayor, I recognize that this is like not the most ideal scenario, and that it's obviously a negative scenario when people have to get laid off and go through these processes. And so that's why we wanted to make it as clean as possible by saying, hey, why don't Tenino officers move into the schools, fulfill that contractual obligation between the city and the school district, and then after that, the city has to make its own call. I'm not part of that, but at some point in time, in order for those officers to exercise that privilege, they have to get notice that the PD is being disbanded. Otherwise, they can't exercise that. So. And
I did talk to both of them and let them know that's what we're looking at. So they were aware, and mainly Alec, because and Yvonne's already in the process, but Alec was not. So I talked to him, and he understood and was okay. I mean,
and he's already submitted.
Nobody's okay with it, but
yeah.
Understood that we had to make that cut to allow the process to start moving forward.
Yes, and he's already submitted his letter to the civil service, the county civil service, and they sent him communication back saying you can't do this until you get notice that you're going to be laid off. So is the moment that you guys give him that notice, the civil service will accept his letter and he'll be placed on the eligibility list.
Which, if we approve it, will be tomorrow. We'll send him immediately. And the police chief's included in that also. He'll get a letter.
Yeah, assuming he files that letter. I have not heard anything on that. So
anyway.
And this notice is sufficient. They don't actually have to be laid off. They have a transition period to apply while they're still being employed at Tenino?
Yes, but the timelines are much more aggressive than the background process. So the background process for the average candidate is anywhere from, if it's a 21-year-old who's got no life experience, 2 months. If it's someone who has got life experience or worked at multiple departments, it can extend up to 4 months. So there is a period of time where, of course, we want to get people hired and get them done as quickly as possible, but we also have to be thorough. So couldn't give you exact details on that. I believe Officer Sneed is maybe 5-6 weeks in to her background, so she's probably going to be rounding up about the time.
Regarding Officer Sneed, and maybe this is not my place to say this, but as you know, my wife works at the school district, and Officer Sneed is highly respected and regarded. I hope that as you go about assigning your own school resource officers, you'll consider her to be placed back in the Tenino School District.
Yeah,
The same
so
as Alec as well.
Yeah, at that point in time, it will fall under the sheriff's office collective bargaining agreement with the union. And those processes in place state that any individual who is off of field training can put in for the school resource officer position. So they just have to complete the field training. Once again, I don't know what the timeline on that's going to look like. So yes, it would be a great world where the universe kind of aligned and she was able to step back into the schools. There could be a scenario where, in order to meet the deadline of the school year, we're opening that position before she's either hired or before she's completed training. So I can't make any promises or guarantees. There's also a possibility that there aren't any deputies who are super interested in being the SRO in Tenino. SROs are very unique. You need a special kind of police officer who can do that work. So there's also a world where no one puts in for that, and then when she's completed through her field training, she slides right into that spot.
I have to agree with you about how special that role is. It's not easy.
It's not for
Representing
everyone.
authority and also being able to relate to the kids, and she seems to have a knack for that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Well
I'll hang
done.
out for a little bit in case
Okay.
I get
Someone
recalled.
else can- Okay. The other thing, Aslan, do you want to come and talk about the lease extension and what you wanted to present? We have on our agenda tonight to extend the lease at the Ag Park to the EDC, so.
Yes, and I realize I haven't even been in here yet this year, so Tyann, welcome aboard. It's nice to see you, and I guess we didn't get...
Adam isn't here tonight.
Yeah, no Adam, okay. So yes, the EDC has had a lease on the agricultural park property since 2019. Leases are required for receiving state or federal funding. You have to show site control of the property, so either you have to be the owner of the property or have to have a lease on the property. As the EDC has been the primary receiver of funds, the EDC has had the lease on the majority of the property. The city can still receive funds as they are the owner. So the commerce requirements for the state of Washington require a 10-year lease, site control. We got a commerce, another appropriation last year for, well, $250, but we get $242,500 of it because commerce takes their piece. And so we need to have 10 years from completion of the project. So the project is going to be defined basically as grading of the property. And so our lease 10 years from now is 2036 on July 1st. So JSA, who's the civil engineer working with the Colvins, put in their grading permit and SEPA proposal for permitting, just a couple of weeks ago. They are anticipating with SEPA that it's going to be August before we get to break ground out there. So therefore, we'd be breaking ground after our 10 years of site control. And so we need to extend it. Likely, JSA is believing that we will use all that money just on the grading of the site. We are grading all of Lot 5. So likely we will grade the entire lot in less than 2 months. Could be closer to 1 month ultimately. And we should spend down all of that money, and at that point, I could start the process with Commerce to say that we have completed their project with their money. But just in case, because Lord knows we have learned that nothing necessarily goes according to time, we are asking for a year extension of the lease. Once that we are completed with the Commerce's project, we can then start the process of releasing control of Lot 5. So the EDC no longer has control of Lot 5. We did that with Lot 2 and 3 when Dragon Wheel needed to show that they had site control for their banking, and so the EDC, we spent the money that Commerce had provided at that time. We worked out through the Commerce's special department on securitization how to release that land from our lease so that Dragon Wheel could have a direct land lease. So we'll go through that process, and then the Colvins will be able to negotiate a direct land lease with the city. So that's what I'm here today to ask if we
One
can.
step closer to our processing plant.
It's been a while, huh?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I know that Eric very much wants to break ground this year. We very much want to break ground. I'm guessing everybody on earth well, maybe not everybody on earth, but everybody involved wants to break ground this year. So we are pushing forward on that. The facility itself won't break ground until next year. I don't know exact dates or times, and I've learned not to say, but we should have the site prepared, so.
Good.
Was there something, or did you just want them to have this so they could see where?
In case there was any questions of the actual lots, so at this point, the EDC just has lots 4 and 5, if you do have that map in front of you. We already released sites, lots 2 and 3, and so we just have that lot right up near the front, and then the big lot in the back where the meat processing facility is going. Once we release that, we'll just have the lease on lot 5, or lot 4.
Sounds good.
Okay, is there any questions?
Question for you. On this map here, you have lots 2, 3, 4, 5. The southwestern, long lot, large lot, adjacent to lot 5, it's not designated. What are we calling that?
I'm sorry, I was.
It's all Lot 5, Jeff. There's a line in there, but that's all
Oh, right,
Lot
that's
5.
just the sewer and water line that was put in, so it makes it look like
Two
just that
lots.
one section is lot 5. So the whole thing, okay. Yeah. All right, thank you very much, it's nice to see everybody.
Thank you. The other thing on our agenda is the resolution to surplus some property. We've been talking about this for some time. We got all the appraisals redone because they're more than a year old. So we're bringing forth this resolution to surplus. It's 5 lots. So in the paperwork there, you can see the lots and their estimated value. Just real quickly, Marion Street is where we did the swap with the Richardsons down here on Marion Street.
Right.
And it says Hudson here, but it's actually Houston Street was the other one. That's the lot we have down at the very end of Houston Street. There's a pretty nice buildable lot there.
Buildable lot.
Yeah. The other 3 are Green Street, the bigger lots on Green Street. Those, I don't know that they could be built, but I think they would maybe be valuable to the landowners that already have land around them. So we'll have to kind of see.
Really not any land around them. There's those houses right
Well,
across the
there's,
street.
I think, who owns it? One of the lots, Sandstone Distillery owns.
Oh, that's, it's on the front part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he expressed some interest in
Some of
the next one down the road.
and there's another landowner over there that abuts some of those, so, but we'll just put them, I guess we'll put them on the market like we would anything. So what we're planning on doing with these is having a real estate person list those for us. It's not gonna be just go out to, find somebody interested and offer it to them. They'll go on the market like most lots would do and see what kind of value we get out of them. It does give you the final say. If we get an offer, it gives council final say whether to accept that offer or not. But I'll get everything started and on the market, and then if there's an offer, we'll bring that back, each one back. For each parcel, we'll have a separate, so we'll bring that back to the council for approval. Any questions about that one? That one's kind of been on our agenda for a while, I know, so. What else we got? I think that's all the main agenda items for tonight.
Except for the proclamation.
Yeah, the proclamation for what is it called, Maria?
Come here.
Maria has to say it for me because I can't.
Semi-quincentennial.
I'll try to say it.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm wondering why it doesn't include Oregon Trail Days on there.
Yeah, it should.
We're just highlighting Family Fun Day.
I don't think it's the same day.
No,
No, but
we're
it's-
also celebrating 250 years for
At
Oregon, at Oregon Trail Days.
Okay.
We can add that. I don't have a problem with just adding that on there.
I think it's important. It's one of our big festivals.
Yeah.
We have to redo this and put it on letterhead anyway, so we'll bring it back next, but I'll make that change to it and bring it back. But if we can still pass it tonight with that change, would be nice just to have it done. And anything else on that one?
No.
Sorry, I didn't think about that being any,
I'm just looking for every
I know. Okay. Let me find my agenda and we'll go over reports. I know I have it in here just a second ago. There it is. Reports, Chamber of Commerce, EDC, got something from George here. Hopefully I can get it easy. Okay, from the Chamber, the ribbon cutting is this Friday, May 15th at 1 p.m. for the Tenino Community Service Center. Hope a few of us can be there. I will be. The Chamber Lunch Forum is May 20th at noon at the Sandstone Quarry. The speakers are Clint Endicott and Chris Gray, so the school superintendent and the fire chief. Thurston EDC, May 28th, is Inspire Women's Business Conference at South Puget Sound Community College, Lacey campus. Business Awards Program, June 25th from 3 to 5. I'm not sure what that one's all about, but we can contact George if anybody wants some information. Study was this Friday, May 15th at 8 a.m. at the Stone City Event Center. The library, I don't think I've heard anything from them. If they come back later, we can have their Civil Service Commission hasn't had any business. Finance Committee, we haven't had one since, we did have a short
We
meeting.
did have a meeting with the Finance Committee. We'll need to do a budget amendment in June. Nancy's working on reports that are due this month to the state. The sheriff contract will start at 6 months. Oregon Trail Days Security, who is doing that? That was a question that we all had. IT will be able to combine water and sewer to help reduce cost in the IT. Sale of the food bank is in the process. Unclaimed property is making headway. Many have been resolved.
Sheriff Sanders, can I ask you another question? I didn't think about. There has been some questions about Oregon Trail Days, and that will kind of come up during this interim, I think, period. Is it something we need to get together about, or you kind of have thought about anything about any services for Oregon Trail Days?
Yes, so by executing this contract, right now, a little bit of backstory. So we currently have vacancies right now that we're still filling from the public safety sales tax. So we're plussed up, but we're still filling them. So this money that we're using this year, I don't know yet what I'm going to go do with because it's a short-term contract. I'm not going to go to the county commissioners and ask for like an FTE. That doesn't really make sense. We don't know what we're doing quite yet. So what you guys are buying this year is patrol response, whatever that includes, everything up to a full-blown SWAT call out, all the way down to a traffic stop. And then you're also buying the overtime for things like Oregon Trail Days. So Lieutenant Brooks has been assigned, I believe. I think I heard that today. So he's going to be getting in contact to figure out, how many officers and deputies do you normally pull for this type of stuff, and then we will pay for it with funds.
George, then.
She answered. There you go. That's the answer. So
I'm meeting with Lieutenant Brooks next week.
they're meeting up.
Okay, I think, is George Sharp and Cheryl going to be there?
Nope. This is just a preliminary meeting at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Just to get an idea. So.
I forgot about that one.
Yep, nope, we got you guys covered,
Appreciate
so
it.
we plan to do that. And then we also have our volunteers who normally help with traffic control for the parade and things like that. So,
Okay, appreciate that.
good.
Okay, thank you. Glad you stayed now. Planning Commission, I think they have their meeting tomorrow, right? Public Safety Committee? I think,
Nothing to report.
Public Works?
I had a meeting with Troy. No, I did not. That's next week.
Yeah, I thought you had one.
Yeah.
Okay, Chief of Police, I don't have anything there. We kind of got a semi-report there. Director of Public Works, I do know they were continuing to work on the ball field. They're painting and doing some final trim work around the dugouts there. They got some fencing improvements. The pickleball court is largely done. It's very close. They've got it laid and they've got the surface down. I think they're waiting, at least last I heard, they were waiting to get the actual basketball hoop to put in and fencing. So we're very close on getting that project done too. And they put a lot of, our Public Works put a lot of time into getting that. That was, again, grant funded. Somebody questioned about that. That was all 100% grant funded, no city, besides the time the crew spent there. What else? I don't think anything else from Public Works that I can think of. Code enforcement, building. Told you I was gonna make you go up there. I have to force her up there every time.
I can hide in the corner, it's my spot, I like it up there. Code enforcement and building department, so Brian and I are working with JSA to get their grading permit for out at the meat processing plant, so still working on that, that's funneling through. Still cleaning up permits from 2025, and I just drove around the town today and I found more things that we've got to address tomorrow. So it's a constant thing of tackling folks. Any questions?
I want to be there when you tackle somebody.
Yeah.
They
Watch
don't-
out, she might
they don't
actually,
really like it when I come and tell them that they're being naughty. I have to tell you, they don't. They're like, no, we're not.
Well, that's
Yes,
just too bad.
you really are.
It's too bad. Some of the places are just horrible.
They are. So I try to drive them around as much as I can to see what is going on, but yeah, doing well. So we have we're up this year for permits. We already have 20 permits in for the building department. So
a couple pretty big ones too.
a couple pretty big ones.
Yeah.
The Tenino Market Fresh is going to be getting a new roof this summer. The high school stadium just got a new roof. So yeah.
Park specialist, I haven't had anything specific from Jessica. You guys think of anything on the park that Jessica's brought up?
I think there's anything. Maybe just the new website. I think
Yeah.
that's in the works.
Yeah, so I guess I can talk about that one a little bit. Apparently, we just updated our website a bit ago, and we do that through MuniCode. And apparently, they're getting a new platform that requires us to redo our whole website because it's not based on the same system, so Jessica was not,
What's that going to cost?
I haven't,
We're looking into that,
Oh, my God.
and we're checking
other places we can do it too.
yeah.
So anyway, she wasn't super happy about having to think about that again, but,
I'll speak a little bit about that too.
yeah. So we'll get it worked out. It's just another change for us. Clerk treasurer.
So the Muni code, we are looking at other vendors. We're looking at how much the upgrade's gonna cost, but there is also the possibility that we can move our event scheduling and the pool card system all to one platform. So then we would be, it would be more cohesive. So we want to make sure that we check out other vendors though and find out the actual costs. And Jessica's been working on that. Jessica Reeves-Rush has been working on that. So as soon as we know anything regarding that, we'll let you know. Any questions on that? So you should have all received your budget position and the treasurer's report for April. The revenues as far as taxes are just about even for the month with projections. We're still a little behind for year to date, so we have to keep an eye on that. Are there any questions regarding the budget position or the treasurer's reports? We're still working on unclaimed properties. However, right now, I'm working on the annual reports, so that's taking up like 90% of my time and will for the next several weeks. But if you think of any questions after the meeting, you can certainly email me, and the public can email if they have any questions. I think that's about all I'm working on right now. Well, lots of little stuff, but. So any questions regarding any of that? Oh,
I would just add, Lori's been very helpful, getting
Yes.
our paperwork cleaned up and on the computers. I think we got a pretty good process now that when we get
Yeah.
new information, we're getting it to her and she's getting it in the computer and filed properly. So
Electronic
it's been very,
documents,
I think she's been doing a great
Yeah.
job part-time getting a lot of that work cleaned up and
Yeah, it's been very helpful, especially relating to the grants, because we can go in and find what's been invoiced, what's already been billed, what we've been paid, much quicker. So, yeah, research time is down significantly since Lori started that project. She's also doing the majority of the preliminary work for the unclaimed property, writing letters to people and contacting them, or giving them information when they call in, asking about their check from 2016 that they never cashed and that sort of thing. So she's been a great help. Any other questions on any of that?
Okay, mayor's report. I'll give you, seems like in the last couple of weeks I've been going to doing old man updates, doctor's updates, so I've been gone quite a few days, more than usual. But we had the TRPC meeting. Again, that was mostly again around the upcoming awards for we have this out for us specifically, the small cities grant that's coming up for around $300,000 for road projects, but there's many more projects in the county that they talked about and where that's going. I think one of the big ones, I may have talked about this, is Lacey's asking to do a trail extension there's an old railroad bed that they want to go east with. I know at our last meeting, the county had some objection to that because it's kind of a county-city meeting together, and the county's worried about staff time, and just because of their budget problems, they were a little bit worried about moving forward with that, but it did go forward. So that was added to the list of projects. So that was primarily the TRPC meeting. We had the old 99 bid conference, a pre-conference for the project out there. They will be starting, not in too long. I forget when they're expecting.
May 19th.
May 9th.
Next week.
Middle of May.
Next Tuesday,
Yeah.
next Tuesday.
So I think it's going to be a pretty easy project. It's a straight road there. There's no big intersections or anything. So I think they said I think they said 4 days. And again, they're going to grind and then they'll do the overlay, and then they have to wait for a period of time before they stripe apparently. So it's going to be a bit of time. Temporary striping will be on there, but all the permanent striping and everything will be like a couple weeks later, I believe. So it'd be nice to get that road finished up out there.
And that'll be at night, 7
Night, yeah, they're doing it all at night.
Oh, is it? Oh,
It's
yeah.
7 PM, starting at 7 PM.
We had a finance committee, May 6th, that we talked about. Those were kind of the things in the
Liaisons.
last couple of works.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Any questions for me on anything? Also kind of worked on some of these, especially the property one, getting that all, just information on all these things have gone to our attorney and he has reviewed them. So as we look at them, they were all reviewed by our attorney and approved for liaisons. BDAT. Anything from BDAT?
I don't think we have a representative for BDAT this session.
Oh, it may have been. I forgot we had a couple of them that we didn't fill because of, I'll go back and look at that. Solid Waste Advisory Board.
Solid waste, the June meeting will be a tour of the metal recycling, and that will be in Tacoma. Compost giveaway through Brady Trucking is May 16th at the Thurston County Fairgrounds, if anybody wants the composting for their gardens. Teamsters Local 252 would like a seat on the Solid Waste Committee, and they presented their letter asking if they could be on the committee. There's some concern about whether there's conflict of interest there, so it's kind of on hold. King County Recycling did a presentation on recycling and update on the laws, and manufacturers will be responsible for recycling of their packaging material by 2030. Contact Department of Ecology if you want to know if something is compostable or recyclable.
That it? Any questions for Elaine? TCOM 911, just so everybody knows, our rep for that is in Yelm. Since I've been here, I don't think they communicate. If there's
Yeah.
anything to communicate, we don't hear from them. So I guess I should reach out to him and ask for any reports. if there's-
Everybody was,
once in a
you
while.
know, they have never reported to us,
No.
not as long as I've been here anyway.
Yeah.
Never have.
When I went on the health board, I asked all the other jurisdictions, they said, unless there's something major we need to know about that, so I'm trying to keep in touch with them to make sure that they know what's going on there. Tenino School Board,
Well, the next school board meeting is scheduled Tuesday, May 19th at the high school.
okay, Thurston County Commissioner's Office, I don't think we have anything there. Legislature, nothing there. Oregon Trail Days, any updates on?
Yeah, Oregon Trail Days is moving right along. I've been working with Maria to figure out some of these, issues with blocking roads and rerouting, and, we have entries in the parade. I guess the only thing I would say from the Oregon Trail Days meeting is the concern over the ball field being
Construction.
torn up and having Pioneer Village and the Gem and Mineral Show pushed back. I did not go walk the field since I'm in the parade and I don't really have anything to do with that. So I don't know if there was a resolution there, but they were looking at it our last meeting 2 Mondays ago. They were walking the field to see if they could find a way to kind of get everyone.
Get
to stay.
squeezed in there,
Yeah, and I think Gem and Mineral is very open to
Yeah.
squishing. it
Compacting a
little
little more,
bit or
yeah.
moving
because they were pretty spread out last
yeah,
year.
yeah, so, I think it'll work out fine. It sounds like Jody doesn't have quite as many vendors, as previous years, so that opens a little more space. So I think it'll be good.
I think we'll work it out, well, that's,
Excited, we have great entries already.
yep. And it's opening for entrance into parade, right, is open now?
Great entries are open, yes.
Yep. So sign up. Okay, let's see, what did I miss? I think that is it. So we got about 20 minutes, sorry, we got done a little quicker today. Go out and enjoy the last few minutes of sunshine for the,
Ribbon cutting for the TCSC, what time?
1 o'clock
1
on the
o'clock.
15th.
1?
1 o'clock, yes.
That's ribbon cutting for what?
For the food bank. Oh, for the
Down at the food bank.
food community center.
I did read that, but it's what?
Next Friday, this Friday.
This Friday.
So setting up agenda, doing the minutes, it's part of it, I have to do it, yeah. So basically, like, there's, like, it's either all things that work for your entity, or you can do patterns, so there's lots of options. I did an hour video to see. Yeah. It's civic plus, they're good. So there's some civic plus and then municipal codes. Yeah.
Yes, during the meeting. So, this is
Yeah,
just the work
sorry
session.
about that. Somebody said maybe got the wrong time, but, yeah. Yeah, about 20 minutes. We'll get going. And it's right at the start, so.
Oh, I know.
I just want you to know that they're good, they're ready, they're prepared, they're taking care of their families, they're on board with us. As much as they can be, right?
Yeah. It's still difficult, yeah.
It is, I mean, trust me, it's my home.
City Hall?
More so, there'll be a lot of, I think there's gonna be a lot of this kind of cleanup things that we're gonna have to do for a while.
Probably a year's worth of work over there.
Let me ask you this. Now, if those guys don't get a job right away, do we pay their unemployment? Are they getting unemployment? Okay.
With it having a fixed end date, yes.
I can't imagine they can't get hired someplace with as big a demand, but I'm hoping they can get with the sheriffs and.
Like Sheriff Sanders said, they need it, the TCSO needs it as much as our officers need it, right? We need to put a hard date on it, it needs to be,
Because they can't even apply, huh?
no,
Okay.
there's an in-between that they're stuck in limbo, and so this is really the best thing. So, and they know, they're good, they're excited to spend the end of the school year with the kids and go out playing ball with them every day, and, you know, the lower grades have field days, so they're, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just bought a lot of police shirts, caps. Oh, there's a one for the food bank this time. The food bank we did last time.
What are you looking for?
Oh, the property, that's not, yeah, I did change the food, it wasn't.
Very first, so, right there, in the title.
We changed it. It should be-
Okay.
Yeah, I had to change it this morning.
There was nothing recognition in their building.
And the title, like for the settle.
No, this says certain real estate property surplus authorizing the mayor. This is to negotiate and execute a purchase and sales agreement with. Oh, she missed it. We'll change it, correct that.
It looked to me like
Oh, we still got the
sell it
Toledo
all.
community services in there.
All that surplus property.
And this, and I might.
Oh, no.
No, that's what it says.
Why didn't, I read all that.
Yeah, I do too. Got it right now.
Oh, so that's where I remember the heritage from.
Well, I figured.
We cut and pasted.
Copied and pasted it and just to see that. Yeah, because I got a hold of Dave.
Yeah, he had me fix it
Yeah.
this morning.
I fixed part of it, but we missed.
That was a whole week ago. that we did all that.
Dave, did you get your invitation from Frank Hicks?
I don't recall getting an invitation from him yet. I go again. Sometimes some of that stuff goes to my spam mail, so I'll look and see.
Because he sent them all out Sunday? Saturday or Sunday? 'Cause Monday, we grouped all the, like all of yours, the paving bricks.
Oh, yeah?
We grouped them all together,
Oh,
so that they'll all be in the same.
oh God, I gotta get up there and take a look at it.
Well, it's not, they're not put
They're not
down
down
yet.
Is it gonna be ready by the 27th? The family fun day?
No,
We'll hope not.
well, a lot of those bricks are ready to be down by then, but they're putting in, they started, today's Tuesday, he came today. They started putting on,
Sandstone?
marble.
Oh, okay.
Those are going in.
I go by it
That
unless
one
I
is July 18th.
Okay, I need to, see, my Uncle Ned was a World War II veteran, and he's on there. I want to be sure I get his son Jim and daughter Arda. I wonder if Sandy
So
would
it
be
won't,
able to get up.
they won't be able to see them, they'll be covered because that is a rule to be for a monument. That they, once they're placed there, they have to be covered.
Well, but for the, what, unveiling, they'll be
Yeah, the
unveiling. Yeah, that's what I
will
mean.
be July 18th, yeah. Yeah, at 11 in the morning.
I want to get a hold of my cousin Jim and family.
I knew that you were thinking about that.
July 18th?
July 18th.
Oh, that's hard to say. Well, I'll leave long enough, at 11 in the morning.
Yes.
I'll leave long enough to.
And it'll probably only be like, there's only like 3 people speaking.
Half an hour or so. Oh, but somebody else can take money, well, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all right.
There's only, let's see, Frank Hicks will be making a speech, Dave will be making a speech. And the DFW coordinator will make a speech, and those are all there is.
But I did see the lean-to. The lean-to's gotta go. No, I'm going to do that. I didn't get to it yesterday, and I didn't get to it today. I will let them know that they're not. I did. I didn't even get it. Yes. This guy. I even double checked my numbers. And I even double checked it when I worked for you. I just went when I typed them so that he doesn't read them wrong because I did it wrong. Yeah. I feel guilty with that. It's highlighted.
So how do,
You're a historian, somebody knows your story? I'm thinking somebody who's still parts of the track.
Somebody called me about a second. No, I went. In town? In town? In town. Oh, in
That's clearly a resale price, it's not original. Yeah, she was getting started, you know. No, it's worth $1,200. Maybe for a month. Well, I had more than they summer. Just those days, 5 years ago, I consider it what they do. Looking forward to the little cooler weather and a little rain and it's not gonna be a lot of rain, but there'll be little showers, more typical spring patterns. It was 84 today, it was just too hot. I feel lucky, we have a solid hour, the draws on it. Not half an hour. It's a 35 feet, so it's not super deep. Yeah, we're sitting on a fair amount of space, which is nice. So when we're I thought Venezuela was a good first. Yeah. Hard to keep up with the insanity. Times to try and no, I saw David left a couple of voicemails talking to him, I haven't heard back, so. Who knows? I think he's checked out. And we have to do our next meeting. Yeah, it's a big meeting, they gotta look at the streets and traffic study and figure out what we're gonna do. All right, I talked a little bit with Mary Ann. I think she and I are on the same page. I'm not sure that the staff is anywhere near on the same page. Well, Mary Ann and I don't think that we're going to make a request for increased charges. Politically, the best way to sell it, and also the next meeting for like right. I think the staff wants to see the increase for the CEC. And I've always loved the idea of the CEC. To me, it's a lesser priority. It's similar to the farm. Yeah. And Sarah's on a different page on that. I think she wants to see if we're going to raise a bunch of money rates and terms. I think she would like to see most of them raise. I'm sorry, go to the CDC. So I think we're going to have to have a really honest discussion because parents tell us, a few weeks after that meeting, we need to have a solid proposal going forward. But I just can't see that we're going to get the community to make a big push for CEC money. I think we can get the community to make a big push for a new farmland preservation. Whole life yourself. With the commissioners and people are seeing it all the time. Yeah. So, and I understand we need some more money for indirect and, or,
These chairs, you can't sit back.
not indirect.
I should bring it home, but it would
But
just.
for our overhead, essentially. So we have to carve out some of that.
That's I never sit back either. I would too.
You're like this.
I am.
Oh, wait, that's-
Yeah.
Just say nice to meet you.
Small world, we said all of us.
It's funny because my son's 16, but
We have to make choices.
Long bodies.
yeah.
I think they,
They just have to live all out.
yeah, it was mostly.
I know time goes so slowly waiting.
I know it. My daughter, she says, Mother, why does the day go so damn fast when I've got a day off? When I'm working, it
It goes
just
so
reads.
slow.
My future plan is because I was under the assumption that I would be grooming Jennifer to be the new chair of the board. And gracefully walk away. Now, I'm like, I don't necessarily want
Making her way down the line, talking to everybody.
in a lurch.
I sleep like a log at night.
I did last week. Woke up with a split lip. And I don't know what happened. Mouth was dry. Just like,
I hate that.
yeah, I don't breathe in the mouth when I'm asleep.
You always want to leave when you have a strong.
Oh, no,
tool
next
to
time.
hand it over to.
Well, I just,
Felt like 2 months ago.
this part, what about it?
Yeah, absolutely. What life does unexpected
And
things.
stuff that they want to do. So as soon as they have a grant.
Yeah, that, the Department of Commerce is taking care of it. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
there's no cost to the city.
No,
We actually just looked into it because there's some question about that. The Colvins have to do the SEPA thing, whatever that is. And we have to review it, but there's a fee for that Maria looked into it all and there's no, the Colvins pay all the fees for the
yeah,
reviews and
it's
everything.
not gonna cost the city anything.
Yeah, we looked into it because that question came up about what the city is gonna have to pay for it. Maria double checked and said everything's, it's in our fee schedule to pay for that type of thing, there's a fee in our fee schedule for it.
And the insurance out there is about $10,000 a year, but you collect about $9,000 worth of B&O taxes from them.
Is that right? I forget what the
Yeah.
taxes were, but.
And, they're paying $36,000 a year for the rent, and the first payment is $80,000, right?
I think that's
Yeah.
estimated.
So if you figure
For
the
the
3
ag part,
years.
it'll be around $80,000.
I can't hear you.
The ag part,
Or
she
for the
asked
current,
them, the
for the
payment
current,
is around
they're
$80,000.
paying $3,000 a month, that's $36,000 a year. If you add that up, $72,000, that'll take care of the payment, most all of the payment.
When we get somebody.
36 and 36, 2 years.
Say one thing, do something.
It's not due until, when's it due?
Next year.
Yeah, yeah, it's due next year, so it'll be 2 years. And then some of payments coming from them, and that should take care of the first payment that is due on it. I've got it all down at home. I talked to Aslan about it. I said, I want to know exactly what we're getting from them. The payment, the ag part.
Yeah, that's how he was a housemate, I knew that I had started.
The first year, because we got payments.
So I've got the email that Aslan sent me on everything that is being paid. Well, he should.
You worked in, when I was in the board of supervisors,
Is that the best person to contact? I just have it right back.
Oh, yeah. So Lieutenant MacGyver is kind of like our guys' chief. So he's
Can
gonna be
he-
the one who attends the meetings.
So he can present at the next meeting then, if he wants.
You want to do the next one?
Sure. Well, we should have a contract by then, so yeah, I would think. Thank you. See you Saturday.
1 minute.
Yeah, I got a long day Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, they said next week. See you down there. Show up.
And understand who.
Thank you.
Where the lines of authority are. Yeah.
All I wanted to just give you a heads up, so, I do I do the other two contract cities that we have, Lakota and Rainier. Yeah, it is what it is. I actually, started my law enforcement career 25 years ago in the town of Rainier. So, I live just outside of Tenino, so I have a pretty big understanding of the smaller town deal. I get it. So this is my 25th year in law enforcement, and all of it, besides 2 years, has been done here in Thurston County between Rainier and the sheriff's office. So They,
We got to start a meeting. You want to just do a report?
Yeah.
You want to tell us what you're going to tell us?
yeah, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, otherwise I was gonna get out of here.
Okay, it's 7:30, so we're going to get started with the regular meeting of the City of Tenino, Tuesday, Tuesday, May 12th, 7:30. Please rise for the flag salute. Diane?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have agenda approval. And I do want to add that under consent calendar, excuse Adam Carney. He had a work commitment tonight that he couldn't even attend on Zoom, so he has to be excused. So we could add that
Well, that's in the, okay.
consent
Move
agenda.
approval.
It's been
Second.
moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda with the addition of excuse Adam Carney under consent calendar. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the minutes. We have minutes from April 28th, 2026.
Move approval. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from April 28th. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next is consent calendar for April 29th through May 12th, 2026. Payroll EFTs in the amount of $52,383.04. Claims checks 34092 through 34126 in the amount of $143,459.76 for a total of $195,842.80.
Move approval.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Have no executive session, presentations, public comments. Here's your chance. Anybody want to come on up?
Good evening. My name is TJ Johnson. I'm the chair of the Thurston Conservation District Board of Supervisors, and with me tonight is my board colleague, Doug Rushton. For over 75 years, TCD has been working with private landowners to identify problems and solutions to environmental problems, and encouraging and supporting voluntary stewardship that makes Thurston County a better place for all of us to live. We're non-regulatory, and we bring funding, technical expertise, political advocacy, and community trust to help local jurisdictions like Tenino meet their community visions and goals. Our base funding is provided through a rates and charges system paid by almost all property owners in Thurston County. There's some in Tenino that aren't a part of that, but most of the folks in the county are. That brings in about $565,000 a year, and we use that money to leverage a lot of other state, federal, and private sources. So the county portion of our funding is only 6% of our total $9.7 million budget for this year. The other 94% come from elsewhere to help us solve our problems here locally in Thurston County. This is by far the largest budget in our history. And what it means is it will result in unprecedented positive impacts on our regional conservation and environmental priorities. Last year, we worked with Thurston County residents, jurisdictions, and all of our partners to develop a new strategic plan to guide us into the future. And we call that plan 2040 and Beyond. And I'll leave you copies or a little summary of that when I leave. This is the most ambitious plan in our 75-year history, but it kind of has to be given the urgency of the problems that we face, such as rapidly disappearing farmland, forests, and habitats, threatened and degraded watersheds and marine ecosystems, and the accelerating impacts of climate change and these events that we're seeing, like the wildfires we had in West County a couple of years ago. So this plan is about acting now to avoid irreversible loss for the future. And it's really grounded in 4 strategic priorities. 1 is protect and restore our natural resources. 2, build climate resilience and prepare for these disasters. 3, expand community connections and access to land and food. And 4, we're committed to leading these efforts through organizational excellence and partnerships with all of our local jurisdictions. So we're just introducing this to you tonight. We've been to every other jurisdiction in the county. You guys are the last ones that we've come to visit here. And we're just saying we want to partner with you. We want to work together. We want to align land use policies and conservation strategies. We want to develop climate and watershed solutions. We want to definitely preserve farmland and increase food production, local food production. And we want to figure out ways to expand community outreach and education and to do that together. So this plan is not just a set of conservation programs. It's really about building a future in the county where conservation is a shared way of life for all of us here in the region. We're ready to lead that effort. Our organization is positioned to do that, but we're not going to do it alone. We're going to do it with our partners like the city of Tenino and all the other cities in Thurston County here. So we're inviting you to join us. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I'll leave you a little overview of our plan.
Understand. We cannot answer, we can't, in public comments, yeah, we can't say anything.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. We'll get back with you. If we have questions that come up, we'll
Thank you,
I'll
Mayor.
reach out to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why don't you get the sheriff?
Sheriff McIver, you want to do a quick? All right.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. So my name's Lieutenant McIver with the Sheriff's Office, and I am in charge of the contract cities for the Sheriff's Department. And one of the things I do is come to the monthly meetings for now Tenino, Rainier, and Bakota, and present to you the statistics for the city for a given month. So what will happen from here on out is I'll make sure I get a contact email at the beginning of every month prior to the meeting. I will send out the statistics for your town and your city or your city. And what it will show you is the amount of calls for service that we've handled within the city, the total number of calls for service for the month compared to the prior month, where most of these calls, there's an outline of the map. So it's a map system that will show you where these calls are taking place. And also the proactive work and numbers that are happening in the town. So for this month comparatively to last month, which was when the sheriff's office was not actually in town, if you per se, has the statistical differences of those 2 months. So it will then show you on the back like, hey, we did a number of area checks within the town. So that'll be something where a deputy's driving through and they're going to say, hey, put me on an area check of like the park or the downtown corridor or something to that effect, where they're doing spot checks within the town. It'll also talk about how many business checks were done, any suspicious circumstances that took place in town, traffic stops that were done, so on and so forth. So you can kind of see what is happening at the end of every month comparative to the month before about the services that the sheriff's office is providing the city of Tenino. So that's what I'll do. I'll also kind of be the liaison, if you will. We will have deputies that work this district. The city of Tenino is in what we call the David District, which basically runs just outside of town towards Rainier, up north to just about Maytown Road, and then all the way to the Grays Harbor County line and the Lewis County line. So it's a big district, but there are a lot of avenues to get places. So we generally are running 2 cars down in this district when we can. So you do get service regardless of, prior to this incident happening where the police department's disbanding. So it will, like I said, in turn show you kind of what is happening and what we are doing as a service for you. Mind you, there are times where they're just passing through town and they don't call out those things. So the numbers, it's not a sell on my part because I'm not selling you anything. I'm just telling you that the numbers are generally a lot lower than the actual numbers that I can't see or that I don't get. So I will provide my email. I will be your contact person, if you will. Unbeknownst to a lot of people, I do not work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have time off. So I am married to this phone because of a lot of the other things I do for the sheriff's office. So I do respond to emails the same day that you send them usually if you have a question, or whoever will be my contact person here at the city. And if I don't get back to you right away, it's probably because I'm off or I'm actually doing trying to have a life someplace, which is non-existent right now with everything going on. So when you have issues or you have comments or concerns, I can be a point of contact. My other biggest bit of advice is when this moves forward at whatever level for however long, it's good for the city during these meetings, which I will try to make every month, to relay to the citizens to still be the squeaky wheel. That's how we get grease to the squeaky wheel. Is if you see something suspicious, call 911. Hey, no, this is not an emergency, but I need to report something, and not just wait to give that information to me specifically because I may be off for 4 or 5 days. We have a weird schedule, so we have 4 and 5 day weekends because we work long days. So if you send me an email about something that's happening now and I'm off for 4 or 5 days, I may see it the next day and not get you a timely response. So please still contact dispatch and the active responding deputies that are on duty for those things. Otherwise, anything else, you have questions about or concerns or comments, I will be your point of contact. So I will figure out who I need to get these statistics to, and they will start coming on a monthly basis to you. Was it us? Me and you? Okay, we'll get it done. So that's basically it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, go ahead and fire away. Anything for me now?
I don't think so. I think it's really critical, like you said, to make sure people understand, we may not have somebody in the actually in the town every minute, but to call 911.
Yes.
So I think there's some hesitancy, at least I've heard here and there, that people say, oh, why call 911? There's nobody right here. But that's how these things get, emergency, you're going to get somebody quickly, but just the general.
Sure.
So I think we as a city need to work on making sure people understand that.
And I know there's a lot, I can empathize with a lot of the concerns that take place with moving from, for lack of a better term, your own police department to getting services provided by the sheriff's office. And I don't get anything special, and I'm not given, steak knives or a toaster at the end of the month for selling anything from the sheriff's office. I can just tell you from speaking with the 2 other communities that we provide services with, and from somebody outside of that has been a small town police officer compared to somebody that's worked in a larger agency now, 2 larger agencies, I can tell you, and I promise you, that the service that you folks and the citizens of your city get are probably going to surprise you, and that you won't see a reduction in the services that you have. I think you'll be surprised to see that you will see an increase in those services and the level of service that you get from that. It's unfortunate, but it is just the nature of the beast. The bigger you are in this business, the more you have to provide, and it is what it is. So I hope there's a little bit of understanding there. I do feel bad. I get it. Having been there before, having your own town police department is a good thing. It's just unfortunate, and I hope under the circumstances that everybody understands that we are going to provide you the best service that we possibly can.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Very much.
Malcolm.
And the guy with like the T-shirt.
A little bit different. McIver. McIver. But I've
Okay.
been called worse, so
Yeah.
you can do whatever you'd like there. Any other questions? Nope.
Once again, appreciate your help
Okay.
and assistance.
Thank you for your
and
time.
Look forward to working
Okay.
with you.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Okay, the first thing we got is a proclamation, and again, we'll need to go on letterhead and we'll make the change for Oregon Trail Day. So I'll just read this and we will vote on it. Whereas July 4th, 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776 and the founding of the United States of America. And whereas the Washington State Legislature established a semi-quincentennial committee in 2022 to coordinate and provide guidance for Washington's official observance of the 250th anniversary, and appointed the Washington State Historical Society as the administrating agency for All Americans 250th Planning. And whereas the Washington State Historical Society has a mission to partner with our communities to explore how history connects us all, and has a directive to assist and encourage culture and historical organizations in efforts throughout the state. And whereas preserving, studying, celebrating, and appreciating our shared history helps strengthen communities as we work together towards the ideals of liberty and equality embedded in the Declaration of Independence. And whereas the 250th anniversary provides an opportunity to celebrate and recognize the significant contributions Washingtonians have made to a local, state, and national history. And whereas the State Historical Society desires to focus attention during the commemorative season on local communities, local history, and local voices through its community partnership program, history initiatives, educational resources, and promotional support. And whereas the City of Tenino, incorporated in 1906, has contributed proudly and significantly to the history of the United States of America and the state of Washington for more than 120 years. Now therefore be it resolved that I, the mayor of the City of Tenino and Tenino City Council, do hereby proclaim that the City of Tenino will engage in commemorative, got tongue-tied on that one, activities during the United States semi-quincentennial year of 2026, including Family Fun Days and Oregon Trail Days, and calls upon its residents to reflect upon the significance of this commemoration and the role our community and its diverse people have played in the history and development of the United States of America, done this 12th day of May 2026. And we'll get this edited and on letterhead, and we'll sign it next meeting.
I move to approve Proclamation 943.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the proclamation. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, no old business, new business. Sheriff's temporary contract, we talked about this. Basically, it's a start of a 6-month and it's extendable through December 31st, which after talking to the sheriff, sounds like we will try to have a permanent solution in place by January 1st.
January 1st?
I think that's what he said,
Yes.
wasn't it, January
Yeah.
1st, when he thinks they can we'll get everything. But the initial one's for 6 months to be extended through the end of the year if needed. Is there any
I
questions?
shall move to accept this.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the sheriff's temporary contract as discussed in our work session and by Sheriff Sanders. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agricultural park lease extension. Again, we talked about this in our work session. This is a 1-year extension. We do not believe it's going to take that long, but we need, the EDC needs to keep the lease on that property until the grading work is completed and that grant is expended.
Move to approve the third amendment to the lease agreement for the extension of terms for the Ag Park.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the third amendment to the lease agreement for the Ag Park. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Got a resolution. Resolution 2026-08 is real property as surplus. You have a list of 5 properties, Marion Street, Houston Street, and 3 properties on Green Street. This will let me enter into an agreement with a broker to put these on the market. We will bring back any proposals before they're sold. The sales agreements will come back to the city for approval before we sell anything.
So do we need to make an amendment to what's printed here?
Yeah, I'll change Houston Street. I changed it on this copy. We'll make the correction that instead of Hudson, it got on there, it's Hudson Street, but it's Houston Street. So we'll make that change on it.
Okay. So I move to accept.
It's been moved to accept Resolution 2026-08. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Last one on our list. I told you we'd do quick once we got going. The last one, and I know this is a tough one, this is ordinance number 943. This is calling for the dissolution of the Tenino Police Department effective June 15th, 2026. That is allows us to complete our contract with the schools for school resource officers, and it's the end of the pay period, so it makes a nice, clean finish. We've talked to the police officers, they're aware of this, and we will notify them probably as soon as tomorrow. We'll get notices out to all of them, and they understand where we're at, and like the sheriff said, this is required to get that process moving forward for them to apply to the sheriffs.
So I move to accept ordinance number 943.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to accept ordinance 943. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to recognize the service of police officers past and present over the last 120 years. It's been a good run, and it's sad to see it go away. Times change, and I guess it's time now for this. But let's all remember that we've been served well all this time.
Yes. And hopefully we can get the officers to come in before the end of the middle of June, give them a personal recognition. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Let's see, any other reports that we need? I don't think there's public comment. Number 2, anybody want to make a public comment? Announcements? Anybody got anything you want to throw out for the good of the order?
Just the splash bash is
This Saturday?
Saturday night.
And
Get your fine shirt.
ribbon cutting for the food bank is Friday.
Yeah.
And July 18th is the dedication of the
Veterans Memorial.
Veterans Memorial Wall. Good.
Anything else? Okay, hearing nothing else, we are adjourned.